You are listening to the Push Media Podcast Network.
This is good shit.
If this is it, and it very well may be, unfortunately, based on the news I'm seeing, based on the fact that China has officially partnered with Russia to defend all matters of Russian security and sovereignty. China that is, our most formidable enemy, has now teamed up with our dumbest enemy. And that's not good. You never really want to go up against, the pinky and the brain combo of, country enemies on a nuclear war type scale. That's not good. China, who thinks years at a time, generationally, they think 100 years at a time. With every move they make, every step they take, they'll be missing you. And Russia has an endless supply of frostbit Ruski blockheads willing to ride into town on a tank and get picked off one by one and never going to ask a question as to, hey, maybe is there a different route we could take into town? That is an endless supply of people willing to die for the motherland who will now take instructions from China. Now, I know it's a partnership. China's only going to partner with Russia. They're only going to help defend their interests when necessary. They're only going to offer their advice, their suggestions. This is a partnership. That's exactly what China wants Russia to think. Wake up, you dumb fucks. China has officially begun its hostile, Elon Musk-style takeover of Russia. That's on. That's the news. And it's got me wondering if this is it. And of course, hence the Huey Newton reference in the beginning. I thought it was clever. And again, Huey Newton is the guy who founded the Black Panther Party in the United States. I'm not going to waver on that. Huey Newton founded the Black Panther Party in the United States. That's true. I like to start episodes with a random fact up top. A fact which is, of course, not true and indicative of the fact all information on this show is deeply irrelevant, meticulously researched, and hopefully helpful to nobody because it is it. I'm just kidding. Have you heard of the power of love? Huey Newton to save the day, and then we'll go back in time. That might be the only hope at this point. And time is, of course, a fat circle. Not a flat circle, a fat circle. I stole that from Tim Dillon just to let him know how it feels. To the larger point, monkeypox, I got some new information as your monkeypox correspondent. I'm not the news, but I've been following the news, and I know I feel like I've been repeating myself. The stories I've been talking about the last few episodes have really only been, might be a nuclear war, there's a new monkeypox outbreak no one's telling us about, a celebrity got poop in their bed, and, rinse and repeat. And the funny thing is, the last few episodes, the last couple months, and thank you to everyone who listens and tells all your friends about it. Of course, if your friends are Mormon, don't tell them about it, but I appreciate it. But the last couple months, the episodes have been doing really well. I thank you for all of that. But personally, I feel like I'm only talking about the same shit. New war, new virus, repeat what happened. Mix in a school shooting, unfortunately. But fear-mongering is apparently useful, and I want to be successful. So let's do some more of it, no? The latest with monkeypox. And monkeypox is something I don't really know how serious it is. I don't think the people researching it really know how serious it is. The only people who really know how serious it is are the people who planned it last year in Germany. But the sad rest of us, unfortunately, are trying to catch up. And the CDC and the WHO have declared this an even bigger emergency from the last time we talked. The last time we had an episode, we explained how monkeypox has been raised to a level 2 alert, threat, warning, which is a legitimate thing. It's not just a word. There is a sliding scale for global medical issues. There's only 3 levels to that scale. We are on level 2. And we got to level 2 very quickly, with the number significantly lower than the amount of people who had coronavirus before it made a level 2. As of right now, we're still looking at about 1,400 cases in 29 countries. However, all of the information is getting a little murky and different, because now, in the United States, there's people in San Diego getting it. There's measures being introduced to bring back COVID-like protocols with masks and washing your hands. We still don't really know how people are getting it or spreading it. We have a hunch it might be gay people, or we have a hunch it might be men who have sex with men, or we have a hunch it might be people who like house music, or we have a hunch it might have been from Africa, or, and hear me out, We actually have no idea, and in fact, we have been racist this whole time calling it monkeypox. Does that make any sense? Have you been thinking that at any point during the time you've been following this development? Well, thankfully, there has been 29 doctors and biologists who have formed a coalition to release a letter to petition the WHO to rename monkeypox because it might be offensive. It might be racist. It might be stigmatizing. The biggest issue with this disease that none of us can understand what exactly is happening, how it came to be, or at this point, how the fuck it's spreading. The biggest issue, and the thing that enough, professional medical researchers formed a coalition to write a paper to petition the public with a media effort behind it. The biggest thing we need to do to get this under control is to rename it so some people don't think it's racist. What? The Wuhan virus. Was that racist? Absolutely. But you deserve it after you let the virus get out of your fucking country. That's just my opinion. I think it's a matter of both. Is it racist to say the Wuhan virus? Sure. Is it warranted? Tremendously so. Similar situation with monkeypox. Oh, wait, no. Monkeys are fucking animals, man. Who the fuck? And I ask this seriously. I'm not trying to be clever or do a gotcha or even do a grandstanding moral thing. I ask you seriously. Who was hearing the word monkeypox and thought, that reminds me of black people? I wasn't. I can tell you honestly with a gun to my head and a smile on my face, which would be a weird combination, I have never thought that once. Not once did I ever think, new monkeypox alert, CDC and the WHO meeting, Germany holding a meeting of doctors last year to talk about a potential monkeypox outbreak. All of this reminds me of the segregated antebellum South and the fact we used to be able to buy people. The fact we used to be able to buy people, mind you, is an institution that was created in the modern world by the Dutch, who are, of course, the same people who first identified monkeypox in a lab somehow in Denmark when we thought it was limited to the continent of Africa. And among the reasons that the most recent group of doctors and researchers put this letter together to say, hey, the name's racist, and I should probably read this verbatim to get it correctly. But, verbatim, the letter says, in the context of the current global outbreak, continued reference to and nomenclature of this virus being African is not only inaccurate, but it is also discriminatory and stigmatizing. The most obvious manifestation of this is in the use of photos of African patients to depict the pox lesions in mainstream media in the global north. Recently, Foreign Press Association Africa issued a statement urging the global media to stop using images of African people to highlight the outbreak in Europe. Now, few things to break down. I've already highlighted that I didn't think anyone was walking around town thinking monkeypox, that reminds me of hip-hop. Unless you're, of course, a closeted liberal racist. Second thing, the line where they say, in reference to being from Africa is not only inaccurate, pause, what? Before we get to the not only part, monkeypox being from Africa is not only inaccurate, what? Since the fuck when? How is anyone supposed to get a handle on this? Monkeypox, we all thought, was from Africa. It happened there. You know why? Do you know why, folks? Because there's fucking monkeys there, okay? So that's why there's fucking monkeypox there, because there's monkeys who have monkeypox in Africa. And we thought it doesn't leave Africa. But now, in this letter, which is calling for monkeypox to be rebranded because it's racist like an H&M t-shirt once a year in the spring, this group is also made up of researchers and legitimate medical people, and they have just said monkeypox has not been exclusive to Africa. Since when? Now we got to start with that bit of information. And then their next following point is showing people in the media pictures of people with monkeypox being African. Well, based on my understanding of object permanence, history, time, and, just things moving around in space, if monkeypox was largely limited to the continent of Africa, anytime someone had a picture of monkeypox being inside of and infesting a person, is it not logical to deduce that that person might not be from Africa? Is that a simple thing for me to assume? If most people who get monkeypox are African, isn't it reasonable to connect the dots that the disease largely from Africa only affects African people in Africa, man? This is the type of shit that really makes me a conspiracy guy. And I'm not a conspiracy person. I have mainstream views. The most conspiratorial things that I believe personally are not that shocking. Just, the fact that I think Elon Musk's an alien, time travel is possible, and it's based on architecture presently available in society still, and the military is always watching specifically people with a certain type of blood. But apart from those things, I'm a pretty mainstream fella. I'm a pretty normal guy. But at this point, I have no choice but to assume monkeypox is really some fishy shit because the information is insane. We first found out about it in a lab in Denmark, though it was an exclusive virus to Africa. It suddenly pops up again in 2022 on the heels of coronavirus and the heels of a meeting in Germany with godless white German doctors who, regardless of what they say their history or how old they are, in my book will forever be Nazis. It's just what it is. We have that virus spreading at a rate that's, the numbers at least, are not that high, but it has the greatest minds fucking panicking, and the information as to how they're panicking varies widely. And as to how the disease is spreading, that is not much clearer. We used to think it spread amongst people in the gay community. We've ruled that out, and now we think it's just men who have sex with men. That makes sense. Or if you like house music, or if you were in Spain and Belgium once, or if you were really upset you didn't get invited to the Spanish-Belgium orgy party, or you just lived in San Diego and you're one of those unfortunate people, or it could just, come out of thin air. We don't really know. Guys, we need some straight answers out of you. It's a pox virus. Poxes are really bad. I don't even like saying the word pox that much. It's kind of like moist, I would imagine, for some people. Pox sounds fucking, get it away from me. But apparently, I don't know. We're at about like 2,000 people, which is a lot less than coronavirus, but we have a lot of people worried. We have a militaristic plan in place that we planned a year ago already in place just in case. But again, not a huge deal. What would be a better use of time is if 29 of the greatest researchers and doctors across campuses in the United States and laboratories hidden underground thanks to the government, what would be a better use of time if all of those people got together, formed a coalition, and addressed the fact that the name's racist. And it's racist because it's not even from the country that we all thought it was from for the last 70 years, you dumb fuck. Don't you know this is racist? Don't you hear the word monkeypox and immediately think of the antebellum South? You fucking closeted racist shit. It's really crazy. And the proposed name, instead of calling it monkeypox, it would be much more PC if we called it the MPXV outbreak, which sounds, just in my opinion, I would like to point out, a hell of a lot more like an STD if I was just, working in PR. But again, this is not in a gay virus. This is not even really something that affects men who have sex with men. This was just what we thought in the beginning. Now it could be anybody. But we do want to rename it to sound a lot more like an STD. An MPXV virus. That's the equivalent of making Latina Latinx, I think, essentially. And Latinx is ridiculous. If you are someone who prefers Latinx, you are probably white. You are probably very white, unless, of course, you're a Mexican leprechaun like Beto O'Rourke, or a muy gordo fella who thinks Latinx is a new candy from Twix. So first, monkeypox is racist. That's the most concrete, up-to-the-minute information I have to offer you. As the monkeypox correspondent, as somebody who has directly been benefiting from fear-mongering about the latest virus, most up-to-the-date breaking news. Don't worry, the name is not racist anymore. If you thought it was racist, you were racist the whole time, I actually think. You know what? That's actually, I think, that's really, that's the fucking thing here. That's the diamond in the rough of this story. If you think monkeypox was racist, you are racist. I wasn't thinking about race. I wasn't bringing race into it. I was just using, other things to judge people and group them and separate us, like sexual orientation. It had nothing to do with skin color. Oh, man. You see, if you just keep the same tone, you can slip in a lot of crazy shit while making a good point. And if I ever do that on an episode, I'll be sure to point it out. Man, I crack myself up sometimes. I'm keeping it a $1.50 with y'all as your monkeypox correspondent. Oh, by the way, Anthony COVID. Anthony COVID. Anthony Fauci has COVID. Just thought I would throw that in there in case any real information was getting lost in the monkeypox wave. I thought it should be noted that Anthony Fauci now has COVID. Don't worry, mild symptoms, but, he has COVID now too. And I wish I had better news to talk about, but all I have planned for the rest is some more beef with China. And I do repeat myself, most episodes lately have just been virus war. But listens are going up. We thank you for that. And both continue, so here we go. China, in addition to partnering with Russia to really just begin their takeover of Russia and continue to take us over at some point, they have also thrown a little shade at us in the form of our disinformation board. So, a while back, I pointed out that America has a disinformation board as part of the Department of Homeland Security. I couldn't fucking believe it. We have a minister of truth. We had a minister of truth named Nina Jankowicz, who, among other things, on her storied resume, included spending time literally working in the Ukraine. She caught a lot of heat because that was kind of weird, little suspicious. Plus, she ran her mouth on Twitter, which was kind of ironic, don't you think? So she ended up resigning, and the entire disinformation board ended up paused. And then, as an explanation as to why the disinformation board was paused, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who, and this is just a personal observation of mine, I know this is an audio-only podcast, but if you ever get a chance, look up some videos of Alejandro Mayorkas, because I just think, and this is my opinion, he is a shape-shifting lizard. I have seen several interviews with him because I was watching his press tour when he went around to every media outlet explaining why the disinformation board was paused. He, at least in 4 instances I could remember and account for, his eye color changed. I truly saw that with my own too, partner. So I think he's a shape-shifting lizard. But to his credit, he damn good at it. His arguments were eloquent, they were loquacious, they were gregarious, they were complimentary, they were understanding, they were heartfelt, but most importantly, above all, they answered nothing. And that's the way I motherfucking like it. China. So China has the nerve to say, we're the bad guys on the global scale. Ha ha, look at us. We have a disinformation board. We're bad guys. We're lying. We use information to, our own benefit. And then China, being real salty with it, listed examples like the Iraq war. They lied about weapons of mass destruction just to go into Iraq. To wit, I say, China, the fuck we did, and we did it well. We lied, and we lied good. We tricked a lot of smart fucking people. Don't be jealous, you silly bitch. Don't be jealous, chopstick, that we're able to lie better than you. A country built on lies. A country where I'm pretty sure some people there believe the guy in charge doesn't have to poop. You're trying to push that type of bullshit? You're going to accuse us of being bad at lying? How about we make up reasons to go to war? Try us. Give us a real one, chopstick. I said it again. I almost said rail hopper, but I might bleep that out anyway. Jesus Christ, that was a lot. That would just beep it for a minute. Okay, back on track, racism aside. Sorry, I was reading about monkeypox earlier. I almost caught a case of racism. China gonna tell us we are bad people because we lie? I say we lie because we're good people. That's the difference. Everyone lies. It's a matter of your intent behind the lie. China, every time you lie, it's for a bad reason, I would assume. Hey, here's TikTok. It's really fun. No, it's not. It's a lie. It's spyware. Anyone in the U.S. military can't have it on their phone. We're getting better at human rights. We're the new China. No, you're not. You're lying. You have to put your newborn infants, if they're a girl, out to pasture. We're China. We're the new China. We care about our citizens. Technology's available for the burgeoning middle class. No, it's not China. You have 5 fucking websites. You're lying. You're going to tell us we're liars? We're the best at it. We got people convinced we should have went to Iraq. We have people thinking we went to the moon. We might have. I don't know. And honestly, just to give you my opinion on the moon, because I brought it up and it's my show again, I think the moon landing footage that we saw was fake. However, I do think we went to the moon. Make sense of that. And China, we got a base there. And if you think I'm lying, try me. Because China's been trying to just do space shit recently, too. I don't know if you've caught that in the news, but they've just been interested in space again all of a sudden. They want to go back to the moon. They might want to get a base on the moon. I say China, that's where Dwight Eisenhower's been living since '06, bitch. We lie the best. We lie when we need to lie. We lie to keep society functional. We don't lie to control society because that's a bad use of a lie. That's controlling. No one wants to be controlled. A hell of a lot of people want to be lied to. Lie to me. Your mom wants me to lie to her every time I tell her she can't make me come, but she does. Every time. I just, you need levity. You got to inject some levity. When you're talking about nuclear war and governments being dishonest, you have to talk about your mother just to keep your spirits high, to give you something to look forward to. The things they carried was a book written about war, inspired by a boy's journey to make it home, to, sleep with your mama. The love of a good woman. See, that was a lie, but it was an entertaining lie. That's a lie that would never be Chinese ever at all. The fucking Chinese Secretary of State, Washun Kualu, telling us we're bad at lying. And I'm probably, no one here speaks Mandarin, so the fact that I just called this guy Washun Kualu is an offensive racist joke, but I've made several of them thus far, so why not add a few more? His real name is Zhan Lijian, which I'm so bad at my actual Mandarin, I somehow managed to make this guy sound French. So we'll just call him Washun Kualu. You're going to say America is full of liars, we're deceptive, we're manipulative. You're going to say all this type of shit. China, I hate to remind you, you tried to blame coronavirus on us. You tried to say for a minute, and it didn't stick because you're fucking bad at lying, coronavirus is a United States weapon that was released on the rest of the world, at a time when the rest of the world was calling it the Wuhan virus. You tried to go with that. That was your story. The U.S. did it, even though, everyone in Italy somehow thinks this still came from a lab in a specific town in a specific village in China. And just because you've partnered up with Russia now, don't start trying to get more people on your side. Don't go crying to Italy, crying to Germany, saying the U.S. are a bunch of liars. Look what they do. They're so deceptive. They're dishonest. They're the bad guys. Kick rocks and fillet a dog. No, we're not. God bless the fact we are a country full of the best liars. God bless the fact we have people in the government saying AT&T is not a government-owned company that dates back to Alexander Graham Bell, and we don't listen on phone calls. God bless the fact we have people like Larry Silverstein on the day of 9/11 who said, I can't go into work today. My pesky wife told me I had a doctor's appointment that I forgot about. God bless the fact there are people in this country who can lie like that to keep the ball rolling, to keep this whole thing functional. People who have tasteful, tactful lies, spun weaves of deception that keep everything functional. Most of the time, they're lying because they have our best interest in heart. Now, is that something you can say about China? Absolutely not. Is that something you can say about the U.S. government? I think it varies. I think it's a case-by-case situation, and that's probably why it's so sloppy sometimes. But God bless the fact there's people willing to do it. We have people in our government now willing to say white supremacy, biggest threat facing our nation, evidenced by the insurrection attempt on January 6th and the Proud Boys storming the Capitol. Pay no attention to the fact, sure, the FBI might have infiltrated the Proud Boys, had people in during the day of January 6th, and were even texting other people in the FBI real time. However, I don't want to ask about that. You just say white supremacy is a threat. I listen. No one needs to know anyone lied. We go on about our day. In China, you're so bad at lying, people riot in the streets, you hose them down or lock them in apartments and keep them there with suicide detection robots flying around. If you're gonna lie, get good at it, or don't lie at all. But what you certainly shouldn't do is start being a little bitch and saying, hey, these guys are lying better. Because do you know what that's going to make us do? Do you know what that's going to make us do, China? That's going to make us figure out ways to lie even more. But this time they're going to be foreign agents inserted in your government lying to you. And hopefully it ends at some point with a poisonous ballpoint pen in the side of your fucking neck. That goes to Mao, that goes to Secretary of Television State Media, Washington Coyle, that goes to anyone else in the Chinese Communist Party, that goes to any of your Chinese bots who have been making accounts and following me on Twitter. I've noticed an uptick. It's gone from 1 to 1 still, but I'm really starting to narrow down a few suspects. And the fucking kid in the Kremlin, the fictitious grandson with the laptop who's decided Russia's new military campaign should involve digital media. Fuck him too. I hope he catches a ballpoint pen to the throat. Point is, you got two options when you go to war, when you're in a fight. You can do it with force, you can brute force your way into something, or you can deceive. Those are your options. War is not always physical. Fighting is not always throwing punches. Fighting is decepting. Decepting, that's not a word. And none of you would have caught that either, but I'm a man of integrity, so I pointed it out. War and fighting is deceiving, manipulation. Strategically manipulating the behavior of others is another method of fighting, of conflict. We're good at that too. I would actually argue we're the best. I've bought a lot of the lies the government has told us, and currently I'm probably believing at least 4 or 5 more that at some point, I will have shattered on me. But until that happens, I'm a believe it lock and step, motherfucker. And if you're going to point out I'm being lied to, the only appropriate American response to that, and I'm sure this might resonate with the Chinese and Russian among us, is the fact I don't question authority and now you have to get blown up. Russia has partnered with China. China has partnered with Russia. Russia has appealed to Germany. There is a virus affecting the world on the heels of a virus previously affecting the world from China. And now China is pointing out all of the bad things we've ever done. If that is not an appeal, if that is not a PR campaign of epic proportions on a global scale, and I just hope that enough people are paying attention, that enough people catch this, that enough people pick up on what's going on, that it doesn't get that far. Because there are a lot of issues going on right now, a lot of things that might distract a lot of people. Like the fact gas is $5, $6, $7. Like the fact the president has lost his mental faculties and was already picking a fight with China over Taiwan to begin with. Like the fact John Cena is allowed to be a citizen of the United States still at a time like this. There's many things going on that has a lot of people in their personal lives with good reason distracted, worried, concerned as to how they will handle basic things. Where's the baby formula? How am I going to get to work? Actually, what's my job? A lot of things that people have to worry about right now, which is exactly what makes people not catch on to the fact China is trying to lobby to every other country with guns and people willing to fire them that maybe they should fire them at us because we're really bad guys who lie sometimes. Oh no, we're liars. We should be shot. You know what, world? This is our chance. We got to take out America. It's like a game of Survivor. China, the tribe has spoken. You're off the island. I just blew up Russia in the last episode. At this point, how about we blow up China? Who wants it? What's next? I don't have the nuclear arsenal, thank God, because I'm stupid. But you know what? China, keep talking. That would be my advice to you. See what happens. Happy Halloween. That's what I say. Russia has not resolved the issue with the Ukraine, and somehow they're taking on partners. And what Russia doesn't know, because they're dumb and Russian, is that this is probably the first in a series of moves China has planned to strategically attempt a hostile takeover of the entire country. And if you're not careful, Russia, they're going to take everything, including Rasputin's pickled dick, which I know you hold so near and dear to your dumb Russian heart. Try to pay attention, I guess. It's not like I could even say, hey, write to your local state representative about foreign policy with China. But you could write to your state representative and say, hey, do me a favor, figure out what the fuck's happening with monkeypox. Also ask him, hey, state rep, did you think monkeypox was racist? And then if he said, yeah, I'm really glad we're doing something about the name changing of monkeypox, don't vote for that guy next election, by the way, because he was a racist piece of shit too. I hate to just keep talking virus war, but that's what's happening. That's what's happening in the world. And, Show's growing, doing better. Thank you for all of that. And that's because I've been talking about virus and war, so I guess more of it. But there's only so much virus and war that can happen in the news that you can keep hearing about, that you can live under constant fear and duress of before you start to think, if this is it,